Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, in this episode of Not Binding of Isaac. This is more of an editing of The Binding of Isaac. I'm going to demonstrate how I put together my videos for anyone who's actually interested. So we're going to open up here, I'll do it with my pointer. Open up LumaFusion. Then down here, I'm going to select this icon here. I'm going to actually do the selecting with my pencil because for some reason, if I do the selecting with my pointer, it responds differently. So that little plus symbol, that brings up my project. Now, the last video I did was called Tear Glow, so we're gonna replace that text with the name of the seed. And then, of course, I think this is the same video settings, but I'm gonna set it based on the first video I put in there, and then we'll select the plus symbol. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over to Photos, open up all photos, and go to the very last video that was recorded, which I believe would be this one. And then I'm going to come down here and select this little icon here to drag the whole thing down. Then we want to select that file and then go all the way to the beginning of the feed. Then I want to go down to this little icon right here. This thing. And then we want to go to linked folders. In the linked folders, that's where I have my audio file, right? I'm going to select that and then we'll come on. So now that that's selected, this icon here to bring the whole file down is available. And then I need to synchronize the audio and video. So there's the section where I enter the menu and exit the menu, and that usually links to this audio piece right here. So we're just going to cut off the beginning. And the way I did that was use these little scissors. Now this blue line is your playhead, the exact frame that you can see up on the preview screen. So let's see where the audio is. I believe that stopped my audio recording playing that back. Well, in any case, so we line that up. You can literally click and drag the playhead to line up where you need it to sync. I also need to adjust my volume. So this is the volume for the main playhead, right? I'm going to grab that slider and I'm going to slide it down to -18. I'm going to go to the slider right below it and I'm going to do the same thing, -18. I'm going to go to the playhead where my voiceover is located. And I'm going to drag that up to 4. And then I'm going to open up the file and we're going to ramp the volume to the max. That's just to get the audio to play out the way I want. Now, the audio is not synchronized because it cut off my voice record, but I'm just gonna demo my intro portion. So now what I need to do is I like to have the very beginning of the video where my speech starts before it transitions. So we're going to cut off that piece, right? Then we're going to just slide over the playhead to the 10-second mark. Then I'm going to go back up to my photos album. We're going to see how it shows here. There's a little arrow. So we're in all photos and videos. To go back, you just hit photos, you go to albums. Then I'm going to go to LumaFusion movies. And that's all the videos I still need to upload. These are the 4 I've already set up and edited. Here's my pre-made animated clip. We're going to drag that. Wait a minute. I didn't cut the file. So right here, I want to make sure I highlight this so that it's highlighted all the way around. We're going to cut it. Then we're going to select this file. This piece here is going to be replaced, but I want to keep the audio from it. So this little icon here duplicates the audio only. And that's where that line comes in, which is why I set the volumes to be the same. Now I'm going to click and drag this video file so that that orange highlight fills in around the whole clip. If I put it here, it'll insert between the 2 clips. But putting it here, it's going to fill the whole clip. But I've got, as you can see, it says 15.57. That's how long the video actually is, but I'm only replacing 10 seconds worth of frame. So it asks me here, well, you can use the whole clip duration or the current timeline. I'm going to use the current timeline. Then we're going to go over to 3.5 seconds. And I'm going to select that clip so that it's highlighted, hit this little plus button, which brings up my options for right here. I'm going to put a transition in. I'm going to use the basic transition that's there. Then I'm going to select the audio file below it. I'm going to cut that file. Then I'm going to double tap that file to go into it. We're going to add a keyframe at the beginning of the file. go to the end, add a keyframe at the end of the file, select the first keyframe, and then we're going to mute to the volume. What that does is it creates the same ramping up of volume to match the playhead animation of the video coming in. Then we're going to go to the first clip. We're going to hit the box to be able to multi-select, select the second clip, and then hit plus transitions. That's going to put a 1 second transition in there. And then I'm going to hit this little folder here, which gives me an option of a variety of transitions I can use. And I've been using this one, which then allows the video to transition the way I want. Now at the end of the video, for my outro, wherever the outro ends, in this case, I need to cut off the end sequence there because I didn't complete the whole run recording. I just exited the game file right away right here. So we're going to stop right here. We're going to cut the whole thing. We're going to multi-select these two pieces. No, just one and that one. And then we're going to delete them. Then I'm going to go back up to photos and into the albums again, and then select completed cuts so that I can go to my intros and outros. Technically, those other two clips should be in this file so that I don't have to go to movies. And then I'm just going to, it's easier to do it with a pen. But then I want to drag it down to the timeline right above so that the volume is at full play. And we're going to go to the end of the clip and make sure that I trim down the excess blank void so that it's not ridiculously long. And that's the whole video. Once I'm done playing through the whole thing and watching, making sure all the sound effects are good. If there was a background noise I needed to edit out, I can do that. And then we go to this little up square, click on that, click on movie, click on photos to where I'm going to save the file. And then this little icon here will export it. And these are all the settings for everything required to do it. Now, typically my videos, the 30-minute ones, are multiple gigs. And because this one is only, as you can hear right there, it stopped a voice record. You can see the little icon on the top of the screen turns off the little orange dot. But what I'm demonstrating here is the video is only 5 minutes and it's just over half a gig in size. I also forgot to turn the Wi-Fi off again on the screen, which is why we're hearing those audio glitches. Now, right now I'm doing the recording without the, I'm doing the voiceover feature within LumaFusion, which you can see when I'm selecting the options to do the transitions. But again, if you guys want more information regarding some of these features that I didn't talk about and have me do the actual layout, comment down below and I'll be happy to do that.